Hello, hello, it's Jecara, and I want to know, what do you say when you talk to yourself? I know, you talk to yourself, don't give me that. They say geniuses speak to themselves, but no, really. Scientists tell us that 50,000 times per day we speak to ourselves, and 80% of the time it's negative. Y'all, I am excited to tell you that we can switch that around. And how do we do that? We can change our inner critic to our inner coach. But you must be aware of what's going on between these ears. Okay? So anytime that you have a thought, and it might be automatic and we don't even know it, when you automatically think, I'm late again, or just another bad hair day, or I can't stand being in this situation, or you find yourself blaming and complaining, those thoughts, those can be automatic triggers that come to mind. We have to stump them out, right? But first and foremost, you need to be aware of it. So when you hear it, you know what it sounds like. I'm reading this book called Self-Talk, right? And the whole idea of it is being able to speak to yourself in a more positive way. But here are some things I want you to be aware of. When these things start happening, you can recognize them. Number one, when you have the always or never thinking. If you were like, and you can notice that just in your languaging, listen to how you speak. This always happens to be. This never goes right for me. Or even when you're speaking about someone else, you never put the dishes away, or you're always too busy to speak to me. Is that really true? Is it really always or never? Or maybe it might be most of the time or some of the times, but always and never automatically puts your mind into a set of it's never going to be right, right? And it's always going to be wrong. So when you start hearing your language as always or never, recognize that you're in a negative thought pattern. Also, focusing on the negative. When something bad is happening and it's raining outside and you all have, maybe you planned an outside birthday party or a wedding and it's now raining, what do? Are you focusing on the negative? Like, oh, this always happens to me, back to always and never. Or you only look at the things that are going wrong versus, you know what? This is a thing that's happened. How do we overcome it? Now, I'm not saying don't feel bad for a second, right? Because things bad happen, feel the feels, feel the emotions, but then let it go. How do we quickly transfer those thoughts into positive thoughts? Catastrophic predicting. This is when you do the absolute worst case scenario. Now, I still love This Is Us, the TV show, and one of the couples on the show, anytime something would happen, they said, you know what, let's just do worst case scenario. And they would play it out like, okay, if this happens, then someone's gonna die or end up in jail. And really all that happened was someone got a bad grade in school, right? Sometimes when we do that ourselves, I need you to recognize when something happens, are you making a mountain out of a molehill? I've heard that before. Or you have this little thunderstorm happening in your life, but you've turned it into a hurricane because of the way that you're focusing on it and predicting the future to be worst case. Mind reading is another self-talk that is negative for you, right? And it can be detrimental because unless you're a psychic, be you boo if you are, but unless you're a psychic, you don't know what someone else is thinking. You could assume. There are times when I have found myself playing the role of both people. I'm sitting here like, man, I know what they're going to say. I'm going to say A, they're going to say B, then I'm going to say A, then they going to say B, and then we going to be mad. It's going to be a thing, right? I've made this action, and then it's like I'm compounding, right? I'm mind reading and I'm doing catastrophic predicting. I'm probably adding always and never in there. But when you have played out a conversation in your head with someone and haven't actually had that conversation with someone, that's a self-talk you want to stay away from. Guilt tripping, and this is even of yourself. Oh, I should be doing this, or I ought to be doing that. And when you do that, then you're automatically putting yourself down in shame and guilt. So we have to stay out of that. That's an emotional barrier to success because at any point when things don't go right, you'll automatically go to guilt, and guilt keeps you in that low vibrational set. Labeling, I do this a lot. When you automatically, maybe you're typing on the computer and make a mistake. Oh, you're such an idiot. Or, man, I'm bad at math. Oh man, I'm a jerk. Or those automatic words, we have to stop. and repeat, hey, I made a mistake. I am not that thing. That's one way to kind of get past that. And I actually do this quite a bit when I hear anyone else do it and they're like, oh man, that was stupid. Oh man, I'm stupid or I'm dumb. No, you're not. You just forgot. You made a mistake and that's fine. But we have to catch it. That awareness is key. And then the last one I want to point out is personalizing. Now, this happens when something happens during the day or someone has said something, you automatically believe it's about you. An email didn't go, maybe someone put a meeting on the calendar and didn't invite you. You automatically, oh, what, you got a problem with me? Now, if there's an issue going on, there's an issue going on. But when you automatically go to personalizing situations and people and their thoughts and how they treat you, when maybe they treat everyone that way, all I'm saying is being aware that if you automatically run to personalizing events and things, just take a note. Is this really just me? Or do I need to get a different perspective on this? Okay. So I kind of along the way gave you a little bit tips right around, how to go get over some of those. There is a lot going on in there, and there's a lot of ways to unpack those negative thoughts and those self-talks. First step, be aware. I wanted to point those out to you. The next step is once you're aware of it, turn it, twist it, change that inner critic to a coach. Because really what the inner critic is telling you and your self-talk is telling you, really wants to say is, I love you. I want to be better. I want to do better, and we deserve it. How do we get there? So if you feel like you should be, again, that guilt, right? You have lost 20 pounds and you haven't gone to the gym in 3 months, instead of going through the, oh, you fat slob, you can't do anything, right? You know what? Your inner coach is really telling you, I love you and I want to be around for a long time. I want you to be healthy for yourself and your family. We can do this, right? When we take a look, when we stop, we're aware, and we flip the words to a loving statement, man, that's a free life coach in your head right there for free. Because we're taking the time to recognize it and turning it around. When we're personalizing it, stop, reflect, turn it around. And ask questions. Stop assuming that the worst case is going to happen. Check your language. You're always a never. Stop, reflect. Is it really always a never? Is it just maybe the last week? Man, I can look at last year, we weren't having this problem. So double check your thoughts, your words, and reframe them in the truth of today. So awareness, reflection, and reframe. Man, that's good. Awareness, reflection, and reframe. I think it's a great idea to always be checking that by shifting your critic to a coach. Now, it's hard to do it on your own all the time. I am here to help. So as a coach and as your friend, give me a call. Click on the link in the description. I'd love to be able to continue to support you in your journey in changing these thought processes for the better. Because ultimately, you deserve a happy life. You deserve to get everything that you want and to stay out of the negative and keep that positive energy around you. Hey guys, until next time, stay inspired.